Okay, so here I'm recording the video. One of you sent me a question about homework problem. I believe that was from section 3.2. So you have quadratic equation f of x equal 2x squared minus x minus 1. So most issue was with the problems D, E, F, but I will go over all of them. So part A, they asking you is point negative 2 comma 9 on the graph of the function. So what you're going to do, you're going to replace x with negative 2, y with 9. Don't forget that f of x is just y equal 2x squared minus x minus 1. So to answer question A, again, replace y with 9, so we have 9 equal 2 times negative 2 squared minus negative 2 minus 1. So we're having 9 equal 4 times 2, 8 plus 2 minus 1. So we have 9 equal 9. So since this is true, the part A, the answer will be yes. Point negative 2 comma 9, it's part of the graph of function f. Part B, they're telling you if x equal 22, what is f of x? So f of x, you're going to replace x with 22. So work with the equation of the function, which is 22 squared minus 22 minus 1. So where I used to have x, I plug in 22. So f of 22 is 22 squared, which is 484 times 2. 484 times 2, we're getting 968 minus 23. And that will give us 968 minus 23, 945. So that will be the answer. Okay, so going back to part C of this problem, we have if f of x equal negative 1, you need to figure out what is x. So f of x, don't forget that means y coordinate of that point is equal negative 1. So you're going to take the equation of the function, which is y equal 2x squared minus x minus 1. Okay, and we're going to replace y with negative 1, and we're going to solve that equation for x. So we have negative 1 equal 2x squared minus x minus 1. This is quadratic equation, so move everything to one side. Let's add 1 to both sides. And we're having 2x squared minus x. That will cancel equals 0. So now factor x. So that will give you 2x minus 1 equals 0. And use product property, which means x is equal 0 or 2x minus 1 equals 0. So here we're going to solve for x. We're having 2x equal 1, x equal 1/2. So the solution of part C is x equals 0 and x equal 1/2. So that's part C. And now going back to part D, they asking you what is the domain of the function. So again, our function is 2x squared minus x minus 1. Don't forget that this is quadratic function. So this is quadratic function. So for quadratic function, domain means for which x value you can evaluate that function. Here you don't have a square root, you don't have a fraction. So domain in those cases will be all real numbers. So domain, that's your input, that your x values are all real numbers. Because if I would graph that quadratic function, again, this is just a sketch, but you may have something like that, okay? So domain, that's your x values right here. So like you see, you can pick any x and you always will be able to figure out, get the y coordinate of the point. So there's no restrictions regarding x values. That's why domain is all real. And part E, you have to find X-intercepts and F Y-intercepts. So E, find X-intercept. So what you're going to do, you're going to make y equals 0. Don't forget that f of x, this is the same thing as y. So we're going to solve quadratic equation, 2x squared minus x minus 1 equals 0. Okay, so let's solve it. Let's see if we can factor. Let's use quadratic formula. Let's review that. A is equal to, B is equal negative 1, C is equal negative 1. So x is equal negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac, and everything divided by 2 times a, and that will be negative of negative 1 plus minus square root b squared, which is negative 1 squared, minus 4 times 2 times negative 1, and everything divided by 2 times a. And that will give us 1 plus minus square root 1 plus 8 over 4. So we have in 1 plus minus square root of 9 divided by 4, which is 1 plus minus 3 divided by 4. So we have two x-intercept. The first one is 1 plus 3 divided by 4, which is 1. The second is 1 minus 3 divided by 4, which is negative 2 divided by 4. That will give you negative 1/2. So we got two solutions. And the last one, part F, we have to find the y-intercept. So F, to find y-intercept, we're going to make x equals 0 and solve equation for y. So going back to our function, which is right here, 2x squared minus x minus 1. Okay, we're going to make x equals 0, so y is equal to 2 times 0 to the second power minus 0 minus 1. Y is equal negative 1. So this is our y-intercept. Okay, so hopefully that will help you. I recommend it, definitely review that problem, especially before our test, which we'll have not this week, soon, I think next week. Okay, thank you for watching.